we are going to go over 3 different ways to solve this problem. So the first strategy we're going to use is a double number line. The second will be setting up a proportion, and then we'll do the shortcut to calculate the whole amount. So what we know from the problem is that the phone case we're buying is 40% off. Now that means that we pay 60% of the cost. So this is the number we're going to use for our percent, not the 40. So if it's 40% off, the total amount would be 100%, and so then 40% off means we're taking away 40%, which leaves us 60% is what we're paying. So here is our percentage. It tells us that we pay $14.99. So $14.99 is 60% of the original cost, and we need to calculate the original cost. So let's start with our double number line. I'm going to draw 2 number lines. The top will be the amount of money, and the bottom will be our percent. So the percent that we know is 60%, and we know that 60% is $14.99. We are looking for the original cost, which would be 100% of the cost. So this is what we are looking for. Now 60%, since that's a multiple of 10, if we can figure out what 10% is, we can use that to figure out 100%. So looking at our double number lines, wrong color. If we paid 0% of the cost, that would be $0. So let me go in and go up by 10. So this is 10%, 20, 30, 40, 50, and 60. In order to get this 10%, we can divide 60 by 6, and that gives us the 10% here. So in order to figure out how much money 10% would be, we're going to do the same thing with $14.99. We're going to split that up into 6 equal pieces as well, so that that will be right in line with our percentages. So let's grab our calculator, and we are going to do $14.99 divided by 6. That gives us 2.498. Now I am going to use 3 numbers after the decimal here, even though when we talk about dollars and cents, we usually only go 2 places after the decimal. I don't want us to get any rounding errors, so I'm going to go 3 places after the decimal. So 2.498. 2.498. So every 10% is going to be $2.49, and then 0.08 of a cent. So now, how do we get from 10% to 100%? Think about, what can we multiply 10% by to get 100%? What number can we multiply 10 by to get 100? Well, 10 times 10 is 100. So if we have 10%, that will get us, so 60, 70, 80, 90, that'll get us all the way to 100. To figure out the cost, we can do that same idea. $2.498 is 10%, So if we multiply that by the same thing, by that 10, that's going to give us 100% of the cost, or the original price right here. The next strategy we're going to do is setting up a proportion. So we've done this before. We set this up as part over whole equals percent over 100. So let's look at what numbers we have in the problem. We have a percent, and remember, we're not using the 40, we're using 60. So this is the number we're going to use for our percent. So I'm going to fill in my 60. And then we have 14.99. This is how much we pay, which is 60% of the cost. So is that part of the cost, or was that the whole original price? $14.99 is just part of it. It's not the whole thing. So we're going to set the part is 14.99. So part over whole. I'm going to write that in red because we know that's what we're looking for. Equals our 60% out of 100. Now we have two steps once we have this set up. The first thing we're going to do is multiply our diagonals. And then divide by the number that's left. So I don't have the whole amount, so this is not the diagonal we're going to use. We're going to multiply 14.99 times 100, that's our diagonal. And then we have the number 60 left, so that's what we will divide our answer by. So if you do those two steps, you will get the original price of the phone case. Last but not least, we can do a shortcut that's doing this exact same thing we did with the proportion, just in one step. So our shortcut, what we can do is take the price that we pay, so the part, and we can divide by the percentage. Now we know the part. We know that we pay $14.99. Now the question is, what are we going to write as our percentage? So $14.99 is 60% of our cost, but if we just do $14.99 divided by 60, so $14.99 divided by 60, divided by 60, try that one more time. Forgot my decimal. There we go. We get about 25 cents. Now, if we're paying $14.99 when it's on sale, does it make sense that the original cost is 25 cents? Not quite. So what we have to do is we have to write this percentage as a decimal. So 60% really means 60 out of 100. That's what it actually means. 60% is 60 out of 100. So if we do 60 divided by 100, that gives us 0.6. So this is the number we're going to use as our percentage. So you're going to do 14.99 divided by 0.6, and that will give you the original cost of our phone case. So whichever one of these three strategies makes the most sense to you, feel free to use that to solve our problem.